Hi, 5th grade, it's Mrs. Feathers. We're going to go over your grammar practice pages for the week. This week you are assigned pages 81 to 84. Your first page is page 81, and we are looking at different types of pronouns. A subject pronoun takes place of a noun and is used as the subject. An object pronoun takes place of a noun used as an object. It comes after a preposition or an action verb. A relative pronoun, those are words like that, which, who, whom, and whose, is used at the beginning of a dependent clause. And a reflexive pronoun is used when the object of a sentence is the same as the subject. One clue in finding reflexive pronouns is that they end in self or selves, like herself, itself, themselves. On this page, you're going to read each sentence and underline each pronoun. Then on the line, you're going to tell what type of pronoun you have underlined. We're going to do a couple of examples together. So on the lines, you should have written either object, subject, reflexive, or relative. Please remember at the top that they have what the relative pronouns are. And remember that reflexive pronouns end in self or selves. Last direction before we do a couple, the lines are already drawn for you. So all you need to do is drag and sometimes resize them. Number 1 says, Laura taught herself how to play the guitar. I see that the pronoun in this sentence is herself. And like I stated before, when you have a pronoun that ends in self or selves, it is reflexive. Excuse me. So I'm going to write reflexive on the line. Number 2 says, she also knows how to play the piano and the flute. I see the pronoun she, and because it is the subject of my sentence, it is a subject pronoun. One more. Ian likes the drums and plays them in a band. The pronoun is them, and I see that them is first off referring to drums. It's coming after the action verb plays, therefore this is an object pronoun. You have 4 through 10 to try on your own. Page 83, we're looking at subject and object pronouns again. So the box at the top states that we use a subject pronoun as the subject of a sentence. So those are pronouns like I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. We use object pronouns after an action verb or a preposition. These pronouns are pronouns like me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. The directions state to read each sentence, and you're going to choose the correct pronoun in parentheses and write it on the line provided. Number 1 says, we set out seeds for the birds and blank flew over. I need to choose between they and them. We set out seeds for the birds and they flew over, or we set out seeds for the birds and them flew over. We are going to choose they for the correct pronoun. Number 2 says, I took a picture of blank with my camera. I need to again choose between they and them. Because it's an object pronoun here, I'm going to choose them. You are also assigned page 83. On this page, we're looking at quotation marks in dialogue. Remember, dialogue is when people are talking, and dialogue is exactly what they are saying. The box at the top states that we use quotation marks before and after direct quotations. We use a comma or commas to separate a phrase, such as she said, from the quotation itself. And we place a comma or period inside closing quotation marks. And finally, there is no space between an opening quotation mark and the following word, or a closing quotation mark and the preceding word. We're actually going to do two examples together, one with the direct quote at the beginning of the sentence and one with the direct quote at the end of the sentence. So number 1 says, "I want to try that new video game," he said. So he is talking in this sentence, and I need to show what he said. His direct quote is, "I want to try that new video game." So I'm going to start my sentence with quotation marks. There is no space between the quotation mark and the following word. Now, because this is not the end of my sentence, I'm going to have a comma, quotation marks, and then he said with my period at the end. Let's also look at number 2. It says, "His sister replied, 'Let me just finish this level.'" This sentence has the direct quote at the end of the sentence. So I'm going to start with no quotation marks. I need to distinguish between where it is saying who's speaking and the actual quote. So I need to add a comma, quotation mark, no space. Since it's the end of my sentence, I'm going to put a period and then ending quotation marks. You will just have 3, 4, and 5 to complete on your own. Your last page is page 84. As always, it is your proofreading page. The box at the top goes over the rules from the previous pages, and then the directions state to rewrite the sentences below, correcting any mistakes in pronoun usage or punctuating dialogue. Number 1 has a few mistakes. It states, "The teacher said, 'We'll have special guests joining we tomorrow.'" So first off, I see that there is a direct quote from a teacher. It's missing quotation marks at the end. And finally, there is a pronoun mistake with the word we. We is a subject pronoun, and we need to have an object pronoun here. So when I retype, I'm going to use the object pronoun us. Don't forget your comma between who's speaking and what the direct quote is saying. And we're changing we to us and adding the end quotations. You will go through 2 through 5 on your own. As always, please check back on your private comments to see if the teachers are giving you any feedback before taking your grammar quiz on Thursday. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us, and we will be more than happy to help. Bye, 5th grade.